4 miles beneath the Indian Ocean, off the coast of Australia, in total darkness, there is a graveyard. Not a few scattered bones. Around 500 dead whales spread across 750 miles of seafloor. It has been quietly collecting bodies for 5 million years, and a deep-sea expedition only found it this year. When a whale dies, it doesn't just vanish. Most of them sink. They drift down for miles into a world with no light, and they settle on the bottom. Scientists have a name for this: a whale fall. And a whale fall is not an ending. It's a beginning. One dead whale can feed an entire community of deep-sea life for decades. This video is about what happens down there, how a single body becomes an oasis in a desert of darkness, and how we just discovered the largest field of them ever found, in a place no one expected. But to understand why one dead whale matters so much, you have to see where it lands. Because the deep ocean isn't teeming with life. It's one of the emptiest places on Earth. Sunlight only reaches so far. 200 meters down, the bright blue fades to gray. By 1,000 meters, it's gone. And below that, it is permanently, completely dark. No light means no plants. No plants means almost no food is made down here at all. Nearly everything alive survives on scraps drifting from far above. Dead plankton, specks of waste, the rare carcass. Scientists call it marine snow. It falls like slow dust, and across most of the seafloor, it's the only thing on the menu. This is a desert, vast, freezing, and almost barren. An animal here can wait months between meals. And then, rarely, the desert gets a gift it could never make on its own. Dozens of tons of flesh and bone falling silently out of the black. More life will gather on that one body than across miles of empty plain. A blue whale can weigh more than 100 tons. Even a smaller whale is many tons of meat, fat, and bone. When it dies and sinks, all of that arrives on the seafloor at once. Imagine living in a desert where it almost never rains, and then, one day, a fully stocked supermarket falls out of the sky and lands right next to you. To the deep ocean, that is a whale fall. The biggest meal most of these animals will ever encounter. And the animals find it fast. Within hours, the first guests arrive, drawn through the dark by the scent of decay spreading for miles. Hagfish slither inside the body. Sleeper sharks and rat-tail fish tear at it from the outside. A single carcass can pull in scavengers from across a huge stretch of seafloor. They are fast and thorough. In a matter of months, a whale can be stripped down to the skeleton. On one body smaller than a dining table, scientists once counted nearly 3,000 animals feeding at the same time. But here's the strange part. Even after every scrap of meat is gone, the whale is not finished. In a way, the feast is only getting started. A whale skeleton is packed with fat. Much of the weight of the bones is oil, energy locked inside the marrow, and the deep sea has evolved a way to get at it. Meet the bone-eating worm. Scientists call it Osedax, Latin for bone devourer. It has no mouth and no stomach. Instead, it drills root-like tendrils into the bone and uses bacteria to dissolve the fat inside. A carpet of these worms can turn a whale skeleton into a pink, pulsing forest. And once the bacteria move in, something remarkable happens. They break the bone down and release chemicals, and a whole new community feeds on those chemicals instead of sunlight. It's the same kind of life found around deep-sea volcanic vents, powered by chemistry, not light. A whale, in death, builds a tiny ecosystem that can run for 50 years or more. Some of the animals here live nowhere else on Earth. Almost every new whale skeleton we explore reveals creatures we have never seen before. One body, 3 acts. Scavengers, then worms, then bacteria. A slow-motion banquet that outlasts the animals that started it. A single death that quietly keeps life going for half a century. Which brings us back to that graveyard. In 2023, a team of Chinese scientists sent a crewed submarine called Fendouzhe down into the Diamantina Fracture Zone, west of Australia. Over more than 30 dives, 4 miles down, they found something no one expected. Whale bones. And then more. And then hundreds more. 485 separate sites. Close to 500 whales, scattered along 750 miles of seafloor. The largest pile of whale remains ever found in the deep ocean. These were the deepest whale falls on record, nearly twice as deep as any found before. And most of them were beaked whales. Beaked whales aren't ocean giants. They're mid-sized, but they are extreme divers, chasing squid into the crushing dark, deeper than almost any other mammal. And sometimes they don't make it back. Exhaustion, or something like the bends, and they sink into the same narrow trenches again and again. The bones funnel down the V-shaped valleys and collect at the bottom. Some are fresh, some are 5 million years old. There is even a brand new extinct species in the pile, named after the zone itself. Then, the scientists tested the DNA of the animals living there. 21 samples. Only one matched a species we already knew. The rest were strangers. A graveyard, yes, but on the fresher whales, also a garden. Living communities found almost nowhere else. Much of it never cataloged before. The rest is ancient bone, stacked over millions of years. Sit with the timeline for a moment. The oldest bones in that trench are over 5 million years old. That's older than our species. While our distant ancestors were still learning to stand upright, whales were already falling into that dark valley and feeding life at the bottom of the world. And it never stopped. New whales are still sinking into the same place today, landing on bones older than humanity. The graveyard is still open, layer upon layer, a record of the dead stretching back long before there were any people to record anything. It was there the whole time, through every empire, every war, every word ever spoken on the surface. Quiet, patient, and completely unknown to us, until a submarine pointed its lights in the right direction. And that should make you wonder. We tend to assume our world is fully discovered, but if something this big could hide for this long, how well do we really know our own planet? Here's the part that's hard to believe. We have better maps of the surface of Mars and the Moon than we have of our own ocean floor. Most of the deep seabed has never been seen by human eyes. Not surveyed, not filmed, not even mapped in detail. It is the largest living space on Earth, and it is mostly a blank. Remember those DNA samples? 20 out of 21 unknown. That's not a fluke. Almost every time we send a camera into the deep, we find life that science has never recorded. Which means the whale graveyard isn't the exception. It's a hint. The deep ocean is almost certainly full of places like it that we have simply never found. And now there's a clock on it. Right now, companies are racing to mine the deep seafloor for metals. The same dark, barely explored plains where these ecosystems hide. We are getting ready to dig up a world we have only just started to look at. We might destroy places like that whale graveyard before we even know they are there. 500 whales, 5 million years, 4 miles down, in the dark, the whole time. And we only just looked. It's easy to think of Earth as explored, mapped, photographed, finished. It isn't. The biggest part of it is still out there, waiting in the cold, mostly unseen. The whale graveyard isn't really a story about death. It's a reminder of how much is still unknown, right here, on our own planet, under our own water. So the question worth sitting with is simple. If a graveyard the size of a country can stay hidden for 5 million years, what else is down there in the dark? If you want to keep exploring questions like this one, subscribe, and we'll go a little deeper next time.